Hey. 8-bar corner pocket, calling all the shots, boy. Raw denim, 5 pockets, feeling like a hot boy. Y'all tripping, I was in the crib watching Top Boy. Chopping up this green, guess I got a thing for bok choy. Ain't worry about your playlist, bruh. I need an alias, I need a foreign passport, and a change of radius. I don't pay them, but I don't save them, I ain't the glaciers. Need 2 chains like Def Jam to change the glaciers. Titanic crash against flaws, you know my wave crazy. Put over with no ID, look like cocaine 80s. Same kid with stripes like a ref's average shirt. Got the next magic verse, got my chest tatted first. Treasures, Antioch stores make desperate measures. Back when you had a 1-up, when your shirt said pleasures. Was in the church like elders, was underground like shelters. Made a plan to get it and kept it together like welders. I'm living stress-free, never catch me, never test me, oh no. I'm living stress-free, never catch me, never test me, oh no. I wish you could see me now, I'm unstoppable. I wish you could see me now, I'm unstoppable. I wish you could see me now, I'm unstoppable. I wish you could see me now, I'm unstoppable. Whoa, 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 whoa. All black leather now, my vibe much better now. My tribe said I'm the one, my time feel extra now. My instincts dialed in, my senses is dialed up. My sentences chime in, they eyebrows rise up. I feel like a titan writing the scripture. My might is touching the mixture, designing the holy picture. Reminisce on tradition, my fight in the heart with the knockout. Genesis definition of light when God told me pop out. With a smile on my face upon my arrival. It's a difference when racing for your survival. Think I'm poised to win it. Checker flags, waving Nipsey, drinking Chardonnay with my little mama banging Rihanna. Icons of this time that we live. I'm facing my every fear. I'm taking time to be still. I'm breaking down every barricade as I wait at the pier. Still waters run deep and I swear it's great to be here. I'm learning patience this year, chasing greatness this year. I'm making statements before they happen, creating this year. I seen love leave and I seen hatred appear. And my ears adjust to the silence, the snakes I can hear. But it's never scary. The DNA of God hereditary. We all in the same class but the lessons vary. Old school ambition, but painted extra cherry. Receive the fruits of my labor, I think it's necessary. I'm living stress-free, never catch me, never test me, oh no. I'm living stress-free, never catch me, never test me, oh no. I wish you could see me now, I'm unstoppable. I wish you could see me now, I'm unstoppable. I wish you could see me now, I'm unstoppable. I wish you could see me now, I'm unstoppable. Whoa, 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 whoa. Whoa, 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 whoa. Whoa, 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 whoa.
I see the light, 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 light. I see the reason in the night, 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 night. And every time I close my eyes, guess I just need you by my side. Yeah, my heart gets cold, I need you when the lights go low. And my heart gets cold, I need you more than you know. After all the time that's passed, is it wrong to say I want you back? Yeah, my heart gets cold, I need you when the lights go low. No love wasted if you take it. If you feel a little lonely, I could use a little something. We could make a new beginning. Feel a little lonely, I could use a little something. Don't give me up, I see the light, 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 light. I see the reason in the night.
Hurt people, but we might have took it too far. Don't ever question if it's love, you know I got you if you do call. It's so much easier to run with the traumas wherever you are. Can't afford to point the finger, should probably tend to my own flaws. God, with what little pride I can salvage, I'll just pick up and go. Trying to sing to your heart, you went straight for the throat. Know you fronted the bill, but now we divvy the quote. That's time spent with nothing to show. Hard to stomach, I know. Manipulation, we didn't need to deploy. But you playing with my vision like you think it's a toy. A product of pain, your demons bleed through the noise. Nothing but a host you sent to seek and destroy. Just a reminder to clear your mind up. This ain't no size up and not a fair fight. Neither the bodies start to pile up. Let's put that behind us. No looking back or looking down. And forever to meet again, it'll probably be on a cloud. It's the principality, love, not keeping count. My default is sugar free. When in doubt, I was bleeding out. Clear the scene, nothing to see. Nobody to blame here but me. Hurt people, but we might have took it too far. Don't ever question if it's love, you know I got you if you do call. It's so much easier to run with the traumas wherever you are. Can't afford to point the finger, should probably tend to my own flaws. Just by a show of hands, who could really leave it the chance? Seen some good kids die before Kenny in the van. Grieving on the spectrum, they may never understand. With all that, still sticking to the plan as far as where I land. So aiming for the sky, praying we're aligned. Don't pass me by, I'm alive on the far side. They got the means to move the finish and the start line. So what's a steep fall from a hard climb? So up the mountain I go. No time to explain, I paint it vivid if I make it back home. Bob Ross on every beat, I put the pain in the song. Breaking down the game film, trying to see what went wrong. So the loss matters more than the win. Then living with regret like you didn't pull the pin. Hand grenade in the shade, slow dancing on the limb. For what it's worth, I do it all again. Hurt people, but we might have took it too far. Don't ever question if it's love, you know I got you if you do call. It's so much easier to run with the traumas wherever you are. Can't afford to point the finger, should probably.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Israel Roman, and I'm your host for today. This is a live webinar, live streaming on registered nurses, how to come to Canada as a nurse, and immigrate. For those people joining us in our Zoom, welcome everyone. If you have any questions later on, please enter them in our Q&A or in our chat box, please. And for those people joining us in our Facebook live stream, thank you. If you have any questions, please enter them in our comment section. And also, if you don't mind, please do like and share our Facebook live stream. Again, welcome everyone. My name is Israel Roman. I'm your host, and we are now live in our webinar, free webinar, and free live stream via Facebook. And this is a webinar on Immigrate to Canada as a registered nurse. As I've said, my name is Israel Roman. I am a licensed Canadian immigration consultant and at the same time active registered nurse here in Canada. So when it comes to knowledge on immigration Canada, I'm very well versed with that one. And at the same time, I know what I'm talking about when it comes to immigrating to Canada as a registered nurse because I myself is a registered nurse. We have our offices. Our main office is here in Canada, Nanaimo, British Columbia. And we also have our office in the Philippines, which is in Lipa City, Batangas. So before we continue on, just a reminder, if you guys are working with someone that is providing you advice on how to immigrate to Canada or helping you on your documents when it comes to completing the application to come to Canada, they are they need to be licensed with ICCRC or the Immigration Consultant Canada Regulatory Council. They cannot just give you advice. They need to be licensed. They need to take the course, immigration policy course, and then take the board exam, then stay active with ICCRC. If they are your relatives, that is fine. But if they are not your relative, even if it's for free, they should be licensed with ICCRC. Now, how would you be able to check if they are indeed licensed? So you can go to ICCRC website, and in the site or on the site you'll see sections on complaints and discipline. If you have any concerns, any complaints about that consultant, you can file it here and they will do some action. But if they're not licensed with ICCRC, then they won't be able to do anything. Now, to search if they are with active registration, you search their last name, type in their last name. So for this one, you can go ahead and we'll go ahead and search for my name. So Roman, last name, and first name is Israel. Hit search, and you should find the name of the consultant, which is right here. It's Roman Israel. Active status, and this is the license number. And if you hit contact, it should show you where that consultant is based from and the company that that consultant is working with. So for this one, Nanaimo, BC, and company is Roman and Associates Immigration Services Limited. Okay. Now the next one that you need to determine then is if they say they work for a company, just make sure that the company is does exist, right? So for an example, for Roman and Associates, you can go ahead and since that one is based in Canada or registered in Canada, you can go to Canada Business Registry. And if the business is outside of Canada, I'm pretty sure you will be able to. There's a way on how to search if that company really exists. So for this one, just type in Roman and Associates, and it will show you. So Canada's business registry, and it will show you the name of the company, Roman and Associates Immigration Services Limited, and it is active. Okay, and you can also search for that person in Google, right? And just to see, I mean, like, probably the name won't be there, or probably there will, or probably there will be, right? So you don't know. So just type in that name on the search engine and see what comes up, right? Is there any red flag, anything that stands out that would kind of like warn you that and make you think twice before continuing to work with that person. So let's go try for, if I can go here to Google, which there you go. Probably no. There. So for Google, we can search for the name. Let's say for this webinar, let's type in Roman, Israel Roman, and I will. All right, so let's see what comes up. On the right hand side, it shows you Roman and Associates Immigration Services. And this is by Google, and the address of the office is in Nanaimo, BC, which I did mention earlier. And the hours is right now, it says closed. And the reason for that one is because it is only 5:12 in the morning here in BC. And on the left hand side, you can go ahead and scroll if there's anything that is, again, red flag for you, or something that stands out that you might have some second thoughts on working with that person. Also, you can see some images, right, to really see who that person is. So let's say for Israel Roman, let's click on the picture, and I'll show you, I'll open my cam. All right. Okay, so you can compare the person that is talking on the webcam and the picture. You'll see that that's the same. Both are me. And this one is from the Nanaimo News Bulletin. So the Nanaimo Hospital Auxiliary donation tops 300,000. So there you go. Another one that you can see would be BC Local News. The Nanaimo Hospital gets 340,000, and that would be me right there holding that big check. Let's go click for one more. So that is still me right there touring one of our visitors in our hospital. Okay, and I'm just searching if there's any other pictures. That's it. Okay, so I've showed you a few things on how to determine if it would be safe to work with that person that's providing you immigration advice or immigration help. Okay, moving on. So, how to become a registered nurse, particularly how to become a registered nurse here in Canada. Okay, one of the biggest questions that I do get is that, can I come to Canada and work as a nurse? How can I get a work permit and work as a nurse, as a registered nurse? The answer to that one is, it is there's no way. There is no, as of now, there is no way to come to Canada directly under a work permit and work as a registered nurse. Okay, and unfortunately, but there is other ways though on how you can end up working as a registered nurse. Okay, so one option is the not so easy version. Okay, and I'll show you step by step on how. So the first one would be you have to take your IELTS, and this one would have to be academic IELTS. Okay. Once you have done this one, you will now apply for NNAS or the National Nursing Assessment Service. What this one does is it will look at your nursing credentials, your education, your nursing course, and determine if that is comparable to the nursing education here in Canada. Okay, to see if it's the same. If it's not, then they'll tell you what are the gaps, what are the things that you have to take in order to meet that nursing education for Canada. Okay, then you'll chances are you'll be taking your IELTS again, and the reason being is maybe from the time you have taken your IELTS on the first step and the time the NNAS has finished evaluating your credentials, it has been 2 years. So by that time, you have to retake your IELTS. Then you will now apply for your NCAS or your Nursing Competency Assessment Service. So this is basically now after NNAS evaluating your credentials, now you have to kind of like, okay, really prove it that there's no gaps, right? So this would be an exam. So first would be the computer base, would be a nursing exam. This is not a board exam, okay? Next is simulated lab and oral assessment. With this one, if you go back to your nursing student years and try to recall, you'll have a theory or theories, and then later on, after learning those things, you will have to put it into practice or a written demonstration. This is what simulated and oral assessment is. So you might need to perform head to toe assessment. And while performing your head to toe assessment in a panel, you'll be talking and elaborating on the steps on what are the things that you're doing, right, while doing your head to toe assessment. And there might be some uh, questions asked by the panel while you're doing your head to toe assessment. Okay. Then, based from your NNAS and your NCAS, the college or the governing body for nursing would then determine what are the courses that you'll need to take because those are the gaps. Okay, so it could be a one course for 6 months, it could be two courses for a year, one course for a year, could be the entire nursing course, right? And those courses can only be taken if you're trying to get registered here in BC. There's only two university that you can take those, which is Kwantlen and Thompson's River University. Now, if it's outside of BC, let's say in another province, it's the same thing, right? There's only a designated school that would be able to help you with this one. Once you're done, then you'll wait for the college to tell you, yep, you are now eligible to take the board exam or the NCLEX. Okay, so it's not so easy because of the a lot of steps, and not so easy because the simulated lab or an oral assessment, you'll have to take that one here in Canada. Okay. You won't be able to take that one in your home country. You have to come here, get a visa, visit visa to take this exam, and it's a 2 day exam. Once you're done, you go home, wait for the result, and once you have the result and you know which courses to take, then you'll have to register for those courses and apply now for a study permit. Once you have completed that one, you've completed your study, you have to go back and wait for the result of that one and wait for the college to tell you, yep, you can go ahead and take your board exam. Okay? So that is the not so easy version. Let's move on now to option two, which is the fast and easy option. And this one, in no time, within 2 years, you'll be a permanent resident. Okay? Yes, in 2 years. So you apply for a study permit. You take a 12-month nursing review course, which is very, very, very essential in order to succeed as a registered nurse here in Canada. Okay. So study permit. Then while you are in your course, sometime at the almost at the end, not at the end, but as soon as you start your co-op practice, which is part of your course, you can then apply for your permanent residency via BC Provincial Nominee Program. Okay. And yes, and within 2 years, you'll be a permanent resident. So this is so you'll have to, for the study permit, right, which you will also do so in the not so easy version, but it's not a straightforward thing, right? So for this one, so study permit, what are the requirements, basic requirements for you to get approved for a study permit? So one, you need to be enrolled with a designated learning institution, which the school that we will be getting you in is a DLI or designated learning institution. You need to prove that you have enough money to pay for your tuition and living expense for yourself as well as for your spouse or dependents. Yes, you can take your spouse and dependents with you as long as you're able to prove that you're able to pay for your tuition fee, support yourself while you're in study, while you're in school, at the same time support your spouse and dependents as well. And be admissible to Canada, meaning to say no misrepresentation, no records of criminal record, okay, and relatively in good health. So minimum requirement. So this is actually the school admission criteria. Okay. So what is now the school looking for when it comes to their student? Because they don't take all of the students that apply to them, right? Apply for admission. They filter them out and they make sure that the students that they take are students that would have a high probability of passing, not just passing the course, but at the same time passing the board exam. Okay, that there's a big chance, right, that this person will be able to pass the board exam. So one of the requirement is must be registered as an RN. in the country of residency. Okay, must have a minimum 1125 hours of RN experience in the last 4 years. So if you've been working as a full-time nurse, then you've checked this one because of as a full-time that would give you almost 1900 hours. Okay, minimum IELTS score of 6.5 overall, and no score lower than 6.0, which I think is attainable, right? And pass the comprehensive nursing assessment. So this is the one that's done by the school. They provide this nursing assessment to make sure that the student that they'll be accepting will pass the course, right? And will be able to pass the board exam. So, what is the Canadian Nursing Review course? Okay, so this program is very essential in order to prepare you as a internationally educated nurse to prepare you and be and get the skills, harness the skills that is required in order for you to be successful as an RN. Because I can tell you, working as an RN in my home country, Philippines and Canada, there's a big difference. Okay, and you'll be shocked that the difference is there's a big gap, right? So this nursing review course will definitely help you with that one, and the program is made up of four components. So you have the Canadian Nursing Review, okay, and this includes your clinical experience. There is a module on final competency review, and this would also help you pass your board exam or your NCLEX. There is the leadership in nursing and the co-op education work experience. The good thing about this one, even though co-op education work experience is part of the curriculum or one of the components for the course, you are actually being paid as an RN at that point. Okay. So you are a student still and doing your practicum in a hospital setting and getting getting paid as an RN, right? So yeah, co-op is you can go back again to your college years. This would be similar to having your hospital duty, right? So you have your practicum in a med surg ward, medical ward, surgical ward, OB. So it's the same, right? The only big difference is that even though this is still part of the course, you are getting paid as an RN. That is great, don't you think? All right, benefits. It's an easy criteria. Almost every RN can join this program. And when I say almost every RN, in terms of the first two, the first two criteria, which is be an RN, registered RN, and have worked at least 1125 hours, right? And almost everyone, because there's a comprehensive assessment. So we have to make sure that you will, you have to make sure that you're the student that we are looking for that would pass the course and also pass the board exam. Another benefit is that you're allowed to work while you are on your study permit. Okay, so during school season, you are allowed to work 20 hours per week. If it's off season, you're allowed to work 40 hours per week. Okay. So I'm thinking this would be before your co-op because during co-op you're already getting paid as an RN. So before your co-op core module, all right, you can work and not because I mean like in terms of your wage at that time, your wage would be at least the minimum wage, BC's minimum wage. Okay. Then as a college student, as I've alluded earlier, you're able to bring your spouse and dependents with you. Once you have received your diploma, then you stay here in Canada, all right? You won't be going back home. You'll be at that time, then you'll be working on your work permit and then work as an RN and be a permanent resident. So, what is a wage currently here for nurses here in BC? So, this is the wage grid that every nurses use here in British Columbia. So level one, level two, this is for licensed practical nurse. So this one doesn't concern you. What your position would be the level three. So during your co-op, you'll be earning $34.83. Okay. Now, if you came here and you already had 5 years of nursing experience back home, chances are you won't be starting at 34.83, but you'll be starting at either 38.84 or $40.19. Okay. Then once you've established your nursing here after the following year, then you go to the next grid. So let's say again, in your home country you had your 5 years, so you're here you're here on this grid right here, $40.19. Next year, you'll be 41.53. The following year, 42.87. And on your ninth year, 45.73. Okay? So this is the wage grid that everyone looks at for nurses here in BC. And level 4, 5, and 6 would be your supervisory role. So your head nurse, okay? Clinical coordinator. I'll show you a sample computation just to make it clear. So, entry wage for nurses, $34.83 times 40 hours per week. That would give you $1,500 per week. In a month, that would give you 6,000. Okay. Now, in a month, in a year, that would give you close to $80,000. Okay. Now, okay, you'll say, okay, really, how much is that one? Okay, it's hard to determine if that's high or not. And I tell you it's high. And if we convert this one to Philippine pesos, this would give you 2.7 million pesos per year, working as a starting wage as a nurse. Okay, and this is only starting wage. This is first year. And again, every year your wage will increase. And I'm pretty sure because part of the requirement for the study permits for the course is that you need to have at least 1150 hours. I'm pretty sure you already had at least a year of nursing in your home country. So you won't be starting in the first year. You'll be starting at least on your second year wage. Okay. Now, my question to you is, as a nurse in your home country, in what year would you be getting the same amount of salary with all the work that you do as a nurse? putting your life right now, like putting your life in at risk in terms of providing care for our patients, right? When would you be earning almost the same as this? And I can tell you as well, in terms of workload, nurse to patient ratio, here in Canada, let's say in here in British Columbia, nurse to patient ratio would be usual is four, right? You can have five or six, but the average is four patients. Okay. And I'm pretty sure in the Philippines, you won't have a nurse to patient ratio of 1:4. Okay. And even though your nurse ratio is not 1:4, but bigger, you won't have your salary won't come close to this 2.7 million pesos per year. And this is only you, right? If you have your spouse with you, then your spouse will be also working, but it won't be, we might not be nursing, right? But still working. And let's say your spouse will be working and receiving minimum wage, then he'll be earning close to a million pesos a year as well. Okay. Okay. All right. So that's great. I would love to come to Canada and be an RN and potentially earn that money. That would go a long way for not just for me, but for my family. But how much do I need to spend, right, in order to get to that point? And yes, there is an expense attached to this one because it's not for free. And I would think of the expense as investment on yourself, and investment wherein you have control over how your investment will come back to you. That is what we call return of investment, right? Because you have control over it because you're the one really making your future for this. You are the one studying, and then you are the one later on will be working as an RN. So that would determine you in terms of how many hours would you like to work, would determine how many how much income you'll be getting, and with that one how fast your return of investment is, right? Unlike other types of business, let's say entrepreneurship, wherein there are products you have to purchase as your investment. So it could be a package one, two, three, four, five, and each package would have a different price. The bigger the package, the higher the investment. And once you have received your product, you'll be now marketing your product and selling your products to the customers, to your clients, to your customers, and hoping that every month, every week, or routinely, your customer will be coming back to you, right? And buy your products again. And how much is the profit for each product that you sell? So with that one, I could say that the return of investment is really, you don't have control over that one because you're relying to other people buying your product, right? And not to mention, I'm pretty sure the profit per product won't be that high as well, right? But please note, no offense to those people who are doing this, because that is a legal and decent job, right? Business. I'm just comparing it in terms of a return of investment. Even though this one would have a bigger investment, the return of investment on this one is on you, right? You have control over it. And again, it would be quicker. So once we have determined that you are eligible for this pathway, that you'll be admitted to the school, right? And you'll be a successful RN here, our administration fee would be 48,000. And with this webinar, with this free webinar and live stream, we are adding limited perks with this administration fee. We are adding in free unlimited IELTS review as well as free IELTS exam. And normally there is a consultant's fee for this one, which is 1,500. That one is also being waived. Okay. So the first step is really the administration, the registration, and then the school application. We submit your documents to the school for school admission. And then the second stage would be submitting your study permit. And the last stage would be coming to Canada. Okay. Now the total cost of the tuition, the total cost of the program is 16,300. Okay, so your potential investment would be 1.1 million or 500, yes, 1.1 million pesos. But again, your potential income would be 2.7 million pesos. So in a year, you'll be able to get your investment back. If you are going to ask for someone for a loan to get you through this, you can always say that, hey, after once I'm working in less than a year, I'll be able to pay you back, right? So, what is the process? I'll show you a clearer way, a clearer visual on the process. So, the first one is the eligibility check. Okay, at this stage, we won't be asking for any fee, right? We want to make sure that you meet the minimum requirement and that you'll be able to get into the school, right? Before we proceed. We don't want to waste your time and money if we know that you won't be, that this is not the program for you, right? So as soon as we did, so we have to determine that one, right? And at this stage, we won't be asking anything. We don't want to waste your time and money. That's why we're doing this one. Okay. Once we have determined, though, that yes, this is the right student, this is the right candidate for the program, then we can go ahead and start the process, the registration. Okay. Start of the application. At this stage, we will be requiring the administration fee of 1,400 CAD or 1,400 Canadian dollars or 48,000 pesos if you're from the Philippines. Then we organize your unlimited IELTS review, then your IELTS exam. Then we submit all of your initial documents to the school as part of the school application. Then pay the required down payment for the tuition fee. Okay. So once they have determined right here, once they have determined that yes, you are the student for us, you're the student that we're looking for, they will then send you a letter saying, okay, your down payment is now due. And then once you have your down payment paid, you'll get your official letter of acceptance. Normally, once you have received that, the first payment for your for the consultant's fee is due. But for this webinar, as part of this webinar, that one's waived. Then we prepare the documents for your study permit. And before we submit your documents, your application to the immigration, nor the last payment of 500 is due. But again, for this one, for this webinar, that is free. Then you apply for your study permit. We submit the application. Then you come to Canada. Now, when it comes to paying the tuition fee, the down payment or the balance of your tuition fee, that one is paid directly to the school. Okay, we don't we don't touch your money for that one. We don't want to be the one handing your money as well for that one. You will have to pay the school directly. So we won't be touching it. It won't go through us. We have nothing to do with it. You pay it directly to the school. All right. I think having said that, you'll feel, I'm pretty sure it would add a safety net for you, right? Even though I know you guys trust us, this one would give you another layer of trust and confidence. So, another way of looking at the process. So, first is the eligibility check, then registration, start of the application, then you take your IELTS, school application, and then you get your acceptance letter, submit study permit to the immigration, then you come to Canada. Okay, this is another way of looking at it. It's a high level overview. Now, why is it really fast and easy pathway to Canada? Okay, why is this the fastest way? Why is this the easiest way? And that is because, again, study permit for a year, which is it's easy to get in to the school that you need to get into, right? As long as you have those basic requirement. Then BCPNP or British Columbia Provincial Nominee Program, which this one right here can be started while you are here in this stage right here, right? Then express entry application under the foreign federal skilled worker. So that would be another 6 months. So within 2 years, you'll be a permanent resident of Canada. And again, this one can be lesser than 2 years because this BCPNP can be started at its while you're in your school, while you are still in your study permit. Okay. Then after being a permanent resident for quite some time, then you can apply for your citizenship. And this is the reason why this is the fastest and easiest pathway to Canada as an RN. I do understand there is a big investment, but for now, this is the only way for you to come to Canada and end up working as an RN. Okay. So, and this is the quickest way of doing it. All right. So, the next intake for this one is Feb 2021, which today is already September. We're getting close to October, which means Feb intake might not be feasible, right? But the next one is in October. Yes, it's still a year down the road, but it's better to start early with your application, get your study permit, because once you have your study permit, you can fly to Canada. And while waiting for the program to start, you can start working, right? So it's still off season for you. So you can go ahead and work 40 hours per week while waiting for the school to start. Okay. So next steps, and this is only if you think this is the program for you, that you want to be an RN in Canada, you want to end up working as an RN in Canada, and you want to avail the limited perks, which are the free unlimited IELTS review, the IELTS exam, and the consultant's fee being waived. Only if you want those, then go ahead and please submit your resume to assessment at romancanadianimmigration.ca. Okay, this is for your eligibility check. And again, at this stage, there's no fee. You won't need to pay anything for this one. On the subject line, when you send your resume, please type in SP via nursing live stream. Okay. Then when you're when we have determined that you are eligible to for this program, that highly you'll be highly accepted for the course, then we can proceed to the next step, which is your registration, start of your application, and this would be the time wherein we would require the administration fee. Okay, so go ahead and capture this slide because it's very important where to send your resume. Again, it's assessment at Roman Canadian Immigration.ca. And don't forget the subject line SP via nursing live stream. We want to make sure that we are able to see your email right away and doesn't get buried so that we can triage it, right? And so that we would know that this is for the limited perks that I have mentioned as well. Okay. So that's it for me for now. That concludes our webinar on how to immigrate to Canada as an RN. Again, I would like to say thank you, everyone. Thank you to those who joined us via Facebook live stream. And for those people who joined in our Zoom, thank you. If you just finished watching this one via recording, thank you as well. And hope you can share this information to your friends and families. I'll be here for a few minutes. If you have any questions, please do not hesitate to ask them. Facebook Live, you can add it on the comment section. In Zoom, you can do it in our Q&A section or in our chat box. So one question I have is, how about tax insurance? Is it deducted to the minimum wage? Yes, definitely tax. There is income tax, income tax on any income that you get. So whether you're getting a minimum wage or you're getting the RN wage, there's a income tax, right? And and that's for any country. If you're earning, there's income tax. So yep. In short answer, yes, there is tax. All right, everyone. It's the end of our webinar. If after when we're offline, if you have further questions, please do not hesitate to ask them via our on our Facebook business page, Messenger, and we'll be happy to answer them. Just be patient with us because we do receive a lot of questions and a lot of emails to reply to as well. So just be patient. All right. So see you soon. Stay safe. Goodbye.